Yeah, so I can see better.
Okay.
We have taken bids on the project. We have a contract ready to go. The only thing we're lacking to put through our system is our approved set of plans. And the city of Houston is having an issue with our water line. And our mud doesn't want to do what the city of Houston wants to do. So they've written a letter for us and we're trying to get a variance to say that the mud's gonna be responsible for this line, not the city of Houston. So please grant the variance and give us a.
So
As soon as that comes through, we'll wrap the contract up, get it signed by the contractor and go to work.
Why does the city of Houston?
Yeah, I
It's
don't understand this.
a good question.
Yeah.
We are, as almost everybody knows, in the city of Houston DTJ. And when I first came to work out here, I couldn't understand why the hell the Woodlands was in the city of Houston DTJ. This is 30 years ago. This is in 1992. And it was explained to me pretty quickly why Mr. Mitchell decided to take the Woodlands property that he had control of and put it in the city of Houston DTJ. We have the same kind of fire hydrants everywhere. We have the same width streets everywhere. We have the same types of pipes for our water lines and the same types of pipes for our sewer lines because we follow all the city of Houston's rules. So Woodlands Water, every time they need to replace something, they know what they're going to go out and do and how they're going to replace it. We could have been in the city of Shenandoah and the city of Oak Ridge and the city of Conroe and the city of Magnolia. I mean, where every other city that would have loved to have had a piece of the AB that was going to be created here. And all the streets would have had different widths. All the curbs would have been different. You wouldn't have had a community that had any cohesive. We're cohesive because of Houston, and he chose to put us in the city of Houston so we could deal with the bear that's the city of Houston instead of having to deal with 5 mayors. So that's why it happened. And I didn't think it was a good idea, but after it got explained to me, I go, oh, pretty good idea. So that's why we're in the city of Houston DTJ.
Yes, ETJ, what is that?
Extraterritorial jurisdiction.
Even though we have this agreement with Houston for the future, on annexation and all that, they still show up on water projects, right? I mean, they still have that.
It's for design criteria.
Yeah.
They haven't showed up on one of our jobs. I think they showed up one time in my entire. So they don't come out and inspect. TCEQ does your inspection.
So what is this? Can you share with us what this particular difference is that we don't like?
Extend the water line down 1488 to, is it Buckshot?
Well,
Name of that road.
the way it was explained to me, Mike, was they want an automatic flushing valve on the line and you're okay with just a manual flushing
Yeah,
valve.
but there's, the line dead ends at Buckshot Lane, I believe.
Right.
That's
Right.
across the street. And they wanted to put a flushing valve and they wanted to put an automatic flushing there. We said, no, I don't want an automatic flushing there. We will flush that line ourselves. You have to flush it every 30 days because it is technically a dead end.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why.
Okay.
We had one over here at Market Street that broke and.
It's a nightmare, I can imagine.
Didn't work right. We just flush them ourselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's the contract and that's
Okay.
the ETJ. Well,
Anything else anything other action on the rest of the property there that you're working on? That you can share? I know.
I don't have any prospects at the moment,
Okay.
none that have been shared with me
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
I didn't suspect that once we start construction activity, you're gonna see more people realize there's available sites up there and they'll may stimulate some.
Once you start, yeah.
activity. Yeah. Yeah. Once you start knocking down trees, people usually take notice.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to be happening. We've got the clearing contract. I think the clearing contract's underway. Is the contract underway? We're knocking down trees right now for where we're putting the utilities only.
Right.
But then the guy who bought the property is going to come in and clear for his building,
Gotcha.
but not the forest preserve on 1488.
Okay.
If y'all see any trees coming down on 1488, call me immediately. Somebody's way out of their.
That's that little buffer you
Way
keep
off-
talking
way
about,
off-
right?
way-
Want to keep that buffer down.
Yes, they're way out of the coloring book lines.
Okay. All right. Good. Good.
All right.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
questions for Dan? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, coming out of the closed session, I guess, do we have a motion to approve the utility development agreement as presented?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
A second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that gets us, I think we're now finished that. Still no comments from the public. Any matters for future agenda items? There was an item from the trustee meeting. I don't know if it got carried over, for jogging my memory now, of looking at the D&O insurance that we all carry as directors. I got a copy of that. It's actually, I think, Shelley, is it in the Mud 47 Google Drive? You sent it to me directly. Could you maybe do that? And I'm not sure what section you're going to put it in. I've read through that and I've got a lot of questions. But I would like that. I don't know how best to do with that, Brian. I know everyone's kind of probably interested. Maybe get new directors coming in. I think that's what we said at the trustee level. You've got a vote election coming up. Let's not. Yeah. Get the new staff, get the new directors in seat, and then maybe do that as soon as we can. Right?
Yeah, probably let the dust settle a little bit, but yeah. We could do it pretty quick.
Based on what I read, no, but that's okay.
Well, I'm talking about with all the directors.
Yeah.
Had that conversation. Directors, and I was thinking not necessarily just which I think is a good idea to have the rep come in and speak.
I totally agree.
Particular terms, and we're not insurance lawyers. But to also speak, I think it raises the point of a larger issue, which is just director liability in general.
Mhm.
And so if the reason you care about D&O is because you're concerned about liability.
Right.
So if we're going to talk about insurance, we might as well talk about what the real issue is concerned about what are liability exposures for. And so that's where my head went when we started bringing up D&O. And that's where I think it would make sense to have that discussion at a meeting in probably June, once we get the new director seated. The first meeting is just a whirlwind of oaths of office and affidavits and, people filling out their paperwork. So January, I think May would not be fair, but June, if we need to push it to July, we can, but at least get folks in here and get them seated first.
Yeah, it's 83 pages. I read most of it. And I just went through this for my own use for another reason, going through D&O insurance. And I just have a lot of questions. And I may not understand it as a government agency versus a private company. So I'm willing to accept that. But from just a fair reading of it, I just got some questions. So
Could you send me those so I could just kind of mull it over
yeah,
while we're waiting?
yeah, I'm accumulating them.
You feel good about it?
On page 2. I'll be a while. I mean, these are tough agreements. I mean, these are tough agreements. They just are brutal. There's 27 endorsements to it. So it's a lot to get through. But anyway, yeah. Because it affects, it's really your coverage. It's you and the employees, and we're considered as part of your staff. It extends to family members and things like that. It's got some interesting carve
It's not
outs.
even called D&O anymore, it's public employees.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. It explicitly excludes flooding from the loss or damage of a levee or dam. Or a company that owns and runs and operates dams and levees, it just surprises me. So if somebody perhaps drowned,
We don't.
SJRA owns the dam.
we don't. Okay. Well, so it just struck me that was like, I hear Bear Branch and all these things.
That went off.
Doesn't mean you won't get sued over it.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting one, right? Because he can get, anyway, I won't get into all the details here, but it's something I want to, okay, all right. Okay, that one's on the future, in the future. Otherwise, we are adjourned.
Okay,
All right, thank you, everyone.
all right.